Hello, this is Right Side Trader. Today is May 9th, 2025, and this is my weekly market review where I'm reviewing the NASDAQ 100, that's QQQ, on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only, no trade recommendation, because as we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading, so please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other, and make sure trading is something that is suitable for you. No trade recommendations here, guys, just a view of the charts. All right, let's take a quick look at this NASDAQ 100 QQQ and see what happened this week. On this quarterly chart, we are still green. We're back above pivot. We're still looking okay. But as we get down to the lower time frames, we'll see that this market is struggling. Let's go ahead and go down to the monthly chart and see what we see there. On this monthly chart, as we can see here, we're still below the 9-10 moving average. That's what this blue line is. That's our 9-10 moving average. It's a 9 on my charts. A lot of people like using the 10. And we are still below pivot. These are the May monthly pivots. We did get above pivot, and we could push right back down below pivot, and we'll kind of see what was causing that here, maybe what was causing that here on this weekly chart. Let's go ahead and go down to this weekly chart and take a quick look at that. On this weekly chart, let's zoom back in here again. This is that 50 moving average that I was talking about last week, where we said we stopped at this. We needed the gap above that, and we didn't get that gap. We're having a hard time fighting above, getting out of this supply here that pushed down right here where this thing based at the 50 before and ended up dropping. We still have some supply still left here, look like, that this market's got to chew up before it can actually go higher, or it might end up dropping on us. So be careful based on what we're seeing here on this weekly chart. We ended up closing below the 50, but we are green. And we are above pivot, like I had said. So again, I'm seeing if we can get above this 50, then yes, we can go a little bit higher. But like I said, it's all what I call headwind now, because you got all this red, all this supply that was selling off, and got us down to this point and had us down lower. Now we're trying to come back up. So it could take a little time. We could get where we start going sideways up here before we go higher, or we could end up making another leg down. So be careful. Let's go ahead and go down to the daily noise and wrap this on up. On the daily noise, you can see that it was just kind of a noisy week. This week here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beginning of the week, we actually started from Friday. We started a little bit down, but we was above. I expected us to stay above pivot. I think I had said last week that we could come down. A lot of times, what I expect is that we can come down the pivot and bounce if we're above pivot and all. And it came down quite a bit. It came down below pivot, as you can see, and pull back below it. It came down below pivot again, and pull back above it, and then at the end of the week here, try going higher, but still back on the weekly chart, we can see that it's fighting at that 50 moving average and all. But come next week, we will be opening up above the weekly pivot again, as long as we don't gap down, over the weekend and all, and we should be fighting, trying to get a little bit higher. But as I can say, it's just a little bit higher. That's only $5 between here and there, and we know the NASDAQ and the QQQs can move a whole lot more than $5 in a week. So we just gonna have to just kind of like wait and see what happens come next week. But that's pretty much it. Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week. It's Right Side Trader here. Talk to you later. Bye.